Hello and welcome to another episode of Devo's Straight Dope. I'm Devo and I'm fat. In fact, I basically represent a huge proportion of the population, no pun intended. And I'm doing this video because basically a lot of people in this country look like me. Like overweight, big belly, big cheeks, little to no neck. And but the thing is, there's a great proportion of us who are like this, yet we simply do not meet we don't meet the ideal that we see on television. You know, I'm not built, I don't have a six-pack, I can't run half a mile non-stop, so yeah, I'm fat. And for that reason, and maybe I get less flack for this because I'm a man, but you know, men do get mistreated by others simply for having a little gut and so forth. And I know women have it worse because when it comes to standards of beauty, society's harder on women. Women are supposed to be nothing above a size 2. They're supposed to have long flowing hair. They're supposed to have proportions in the right places, and if they don't, they're considered ugly, or that something's wrong with us. And just to give you an example of that, I'd like for you to watch 2 clips. One from What Would You Do, and one is a recent news report. And then we'll get into it after you see most clips. So, there you go.
That got a little cold.
People who are overweight, too often their waistline becomes the punchline.
It's funny because he's fat.
But every once in a while, even typically funny shows like Louie tackle the weight issue in a more serious and emotional way.
I'm saying, have you ever dated a fat girl? Have you ever walked down the street in the light of day holding hands with a big girl like me?
Do you mind if I get in here real quick before you get everything?
In real life, what would you do if you saw an overweight person being discriminated against?
When you're at a buffet, it's not going to help your willpower. And you'll never be dating. You'll never have a guy like you because you're fat.
We've taken over the Wayne Chateau Buffet in New Jersey to see if anyone reacts when cruel comments target customers who are plus size.
I don't think you should be eating that many fries because you're fat.
Could you save some food for everybody else? I mean, it's your 4th plate. It's freaking disgusting.
Meet our actors. Abby will be playing our diner, while Yuval and Tracy are the rude customers.
Is that the reason you come here, to eat all you can?
Isn't all-you-can-eat buffet, right?
Right. I'm just saying you might just want to be a little careful with what you choose.
You're here too.
Yeah, but I'm thinner. There's a difference.
This diner is clearly uncomfortable and offended by what she hears.
Have Tracy walk by.
Tracy continues her assault by serving up some dishes she thinks are healthier options.
So this is the all-you-can-eat you really should eat. That would really be good for you. I mean, clearly, if you want to eat a lot, then eat that one, okay?
Hey, wait, get the manager over here. This is... Honestly.
Can I help you?
This woman.
Who insulted who?
She brought this plate of food. Oh, it could have been me. She came to the right one.
What happened?
We up there getting food. The lady came up to her and said to her, "You should be getting fried food. You should be eating proper food." She just came back and brought this lady this plate. Look at her. She's distraught.
Okay, we're going in. It really bothered you.
Yeah, it really did. Because one thing about me, I know that I'm overweight and I have to lose the weight because it's intimidating. You're slim and I'm on the heavy side.
Looks like you come here often.
Excuse me?
I'm just saying, it looks like you come here often. I can tell by your size that you like a buffet.
Wow. Don't worry about it. Let it go one ear out the other.
Okay, thank you.
After listening to Yuval's evil words, Amanda Babcock goes over to talk to our actress.
I wish my friend was here, but she's 400 pounds. If she heard them saying nothing, somebody who's a little bit bigger, she would definitely cross the room.
But minutes later, he continues his taunts.
You know, lady, seriously, it's like your fourth plate or something, isn't it?
I don't even know you. Mind
Yeah.
your own business.
Well, you should stop eating so much.
This diner finds herself caught right in between it all.
Well, at least you have a salad on your plate. The rest of the stuff, I don't know.
Are you serious? Why are you being so rude to her?
Angered by what they hear, this tough trio quickly come to Abby's aid.
Why are you being so rude to her?
She's just like constantly eating. Yeah, but you know it's...
That's so rude of you. That's none of your business. I know who you are, but you should apologize.
Why? I don't think that you should eat all
I don't
the
think that's
food.
none of your business. Are you serious? Apologize for her. That's rude.
What's rude about it? I just care about like how much she's eating.
I'm sorry. That's so rude of you. Oh my God. Wow.
Even after Abby has walked away, the customer continues fighting for her.
You're skinny, so you can like eat more. Yeah, but I'm just like trying to help her, you know? I'm trying to be good.
Amanda is still there listening, and she's finally heard enough.
It's none of your business what they do. Who cares? They're big girls. What do you do? Do they know you? Do you know them? Who the are you?
I'm just like a customer like everybody
You're a
else.
customer. So is she.
Yeah.
And if she pays to eat here, they should not be harassed to eat here.
Well, you know what? I think that they shouldn't eat so much because I want to like be able to eat, and other people are going to come in here too.
There's food here. There's food here. There's food here. There's food here. Eat your food and leave them alone.
Break it, I'm coming. This is what would you do?
Are you me?
They're actors. Boy, you were fired up.
I'm fired up here.
Why is it important to step in for someone else like that?
Because I don't think it's right. You're a big girl, you're a skinny girl, you eat what you want. You do what you want to do.
What was it that triggered your response?
But he told them that they were fat and eating too much. And I stepped in and said, who the hell are you? I told them what they can and can't eat. They're paying here.
You told her my best friend is...
400 pounds. Somebody would make fun of her weight, she'd knock him right in the face.
Sounds like you would too.
Yeah, I would. I would.
He's an actor.
I'm just an
Drive me
actor.
crazy.
Hi girls, how are you? I'm John Quinones. Boy, you were tough.
You don't want to mess with us when we're hungry.
Your advice to someone who's victimized like this?
No, to stand up for yourself, honestly. Or have these girls as your bodyguards. I don't go anywhere without them.
A woman's decision to buy every cupcake from a Valparaiso bakery is going viral. Vega Blossom wrote on Facebook she did it to be petty. She says she heard the woman behind her talking rudely as they were waiting in line. When she got to the front, Vega says the woman called her fat and wished out loud Vega didn't buy all the cupcakes. Vega says she was originally only going to buy 6, but after that woman's fat-shaming remarks, she didn't hesitate to drop $54 to buy all the cupcakes. So far, Vega's post on Facebook has been liked and shared more than 100,000 times. Angela Lang for CBS Chicago.
So, basically in those clips, you have 2 women minding their business. One is at a buffet getting something to eat, and the other, she's basically in line at a bakery. And Well, of course, the second one took a more proactive approach, if you will, by buying every single cupcake in the store just to stick it to the women behind her. But that's the thing, when you have a thin person or a person of, I would say, allowable or acceptable proportions, as it were, then such women think that it's their right or their duty to basically insult someone or assume that they're either a glutton or they have emotional problems because of their weight. For instance, and you see it in the restaurants, you see it on public transportation, and you certainly see it on airplanes. For instance, there are certain people of a certain weight, when they get on an airplane, in many cases there's a rule where if you weigh a certain weight, you have to buy 2 tickets. In a way, I can understand why they do that, because it's not like you're on a bus or something, and because if you have a flat tire, then, well, hey, you can simply wait for a couple of hours until the tires change. But if you're up in the air, and then you have one person who's too big for one chair, and they sometimes make it so that people sitting next to them can't sit or be comfortable. I get that. It's unfair, but I get it. But what many people realize is that many people who are overweight or even obese, it's not because they have emotional problems or they're gluttons or they just never found a donut that they didn't say no to, as some people insinuate. No. Many times it's because of a chemical imbalance. Other times it's just DNA. And then, if you're like me, it's because of medication problems. Or, not medication problems, but certain medications that you have to take because your life depends on them. But, as a side effect, you gain weight, or it slows down your metabolism so that you gain weight. And I'm on 3 of those medications, which I need. And the thing is, I wasn't always overweight. In fact, until I was 18 years old, I was underweight. I remember when I was 15, I was like 4'9", 90 pounds or less. So I was a featherweight, and I look at pictures of myself then, and I looked so skinny, it seemed like if I were just 5 pounds less, I would be emaciated. And so growing up, that's what people remembered me by. But then I had to take these medications, and as a result, it made me gain weight. And a lot of that weight gain was rapid. For instance, I remember I went from 100 pounds to 141 pounds in less than 2 years. And because of those changes, I started to look at myself. I didn't want to have my picture taken, or if I did, I was very straight-faced, because if my smile was too big, it made my face look fatter. And And so I didn't really need anyone's help to feel bad about myself because of my weight. But then you had people, and it could be a cultural thing because in my culture, sometimes that's one thing that people always talk about is how much people weigh, and usually the first people who notice someone gaining weight is someone who's already obese, and they're usually the first ones to say something about it. But you were considered unhealthy if you were too thin, but if you had a good appetite, you had a little fat on you, you were considered sick, and that was considered healthy. And sometimes even if you were obese, that was still considered healthy because it shows that you can enjoy food, so you can enjoy life. You had a healthy perspective about yourself. So basically, to get to the point, there were times when I would run into people that I used to know, people I used to work with, or sometimes my mother's friends, sometimes relatives. And some would say, oh, you put on, you put on some weight there. And, that's like the first thing they would notice. Oh, you put on some weight. And and I've noticed, one of my mother's friends, she's laughing as she's saying, I've put on weight. She's like, so the food's that good, huh? Yes. And so, sometimes, some people are they were just so blunt about it. They would say, in their words, damn, you got fat. And I was already having image issues. So, that's the last thing that I needed. In fact, I remember, it was hard for me to even take pictures. People would always ask me to smile in a picture. I wouldn't smile because I knew that if I didn't know when I would smile, when my smile would be too big. So I didn't know if I would show too much fat in my face, so I didn't smile. So basically, and then when there were a few relatives who would joke about how I had gained weight, that really brought me down. In fact, for a while, and this is I've never told anyone about this in public. And in fact, I've only told a few people, period, but I'm going to say this now to prove how hurtful fat shaming was. I became so disgusted with myself and so scared and just upset by my quick transformation from being too skinny to being too fat that I became overcautious of what I ate. And at first, if I felt that I overate, I would deliberately make myself throw up. And sometimes I would even drink water to make myself feel so bloated that I would have no choice but to throw up. So it's like I couldn't enjoy a meal because then, if I had too much dessert, if I had that extra piece of chicken, if I had a burger that was too big, I started to feel guilty and disgusted with myself to the point where I felt, okay, I got the taste in my mouth. What am I doing with this extra food? And so I would make myself throw up. And that went on for about a couple of months until I started getting these really bad chest pains. One time I almost thought I was going to have a heart attack. That's what got me to stop. And that's what eventually helped me to accept myself, no matter if people that I knew and cared about found it to either be something to pay attention to or to talk about for their amusement. So I'm saying this so that you will know. I ate the same way that I ate when I was skinny, when I had a really fast metabolism. I ate the same way then than when I was, I ate the same way then than when I gained the weight. But then, when I started worrying about my weight, I tried to stay more active. Like, the fact that I didn't have a car then worked in my favor, because sometimes I would get off the bus maybe a mile before my stop, and I would walk the rest of the way. I would do a lot of bike riding and whatnot, and while I was healthy, guess what happened to my weight? Nothing. Nothing. I still weighed the same, and it came to the point where I just wanted to stop all of my medications, all of the medications that were causing the weight gain. But the doctors basically said, sorry, you cannot stop this medication. If you do, you're going to get irreparably sick, and you might die. So it's like, I was darned if I did, and darned if I don't. Now, there are many people, even those who weigh more than me, where, like, my wife and I have been watching the series This Is Us, where one of the triplets, Kate, she had these issues, and she would eat the healthiest food, except for maybe once or twice a month or so, when she would binge eat, when she became depressed. So she kept doing all that she could, and yet her weight stayed the same. I've known this one woman where she was allergic to meat and dairy, so she could only eat vegetables and certain grains. And you would think with a diet like that she would be thin as a twig. No. She was over 200 pounds. I've known people where they've done their best to keep the weight off. Those who have either had emotional issues and were trying to lose that weight, or those where, oh, and by the way, that friend from college, she was perfectly healthy. She had her cholesterol checked, and it was 125. There are people who are more fit, who would kill to have cholesterol that low. So remember that. There are people I've known where they're not even on medication, and they eat nothing but the healthiest food, and they try to exercise, but that's just how they were built. And it's hard enough for them to accept it. But then you have these people who basically say beauty is in a size 2 or less, or beauty is a six-pack, and equating that sick social view of beauty, yes, and it is sick, to something that is basically unhealthy, where you have girls starving themselves, boys shooting themselves up with needles, with steroids, so they can feel this way. It's not worth it. Those boys end up getting addictions, they end up having serious problems down the line. These girls have issues with anemia, and then they also deal with anorexia or bulimia. It's not worth it. So, if you're the type who feels that you have a right to tell people what for because of their weight, if you don't know what they're going through, if you don't know what's causing them to gain that weight, shut up. I'm sorry if this is rude, but I've had enough of this. People should be able to live their lives, but without having to kill themselves to be something that they weren't meant to be. Now, there are those who sit around all day playing video games, eating junk food, and they never see the light of day. Now, those, even then, you don't have a right to judge. But only those who truly care about them and truly know them have a right to speak up. And even if they speak up and those people don't listen, well, then they're going to have to answer for it when they start getting sick. But if you don't know what they're going through, shut up. Don't take it upon yourself to look at someone's plate and criticize what they're going to have. Or don't start getting all tense when you see an overweight person walk into a restaurant or walk into a bakery or something like that. You do not have the right to tell people how to live, especially if you don't know what our lives are like. So shut up. Now, for those who are watching this, who have had to put up with this all of their lives, hang in there. Like I may not have the same issues as you, weight-wise, but hang in there. Don't try to kill yourself. Don't try to destroy yourself to satisfy them. And don't try to put your health in danger so that you can, don't put yourself in danger trying to placate a very sick view of beauty or self-worth. It's because you just do the best you can to keep yourself healthy. And if that weight problem has to do with an eating disorder, you have options for help if you're ready for that help. You can go to Overeaters Anonymous. I don't know what city you're in or what state you're in, but many states and basically every major city has an Overeaters Anonymous where you can meet with others who are struggling like you. There are support groups. There's individual therapy. There's prayer. And sometimes it's just talking to someone who truly knows. And if you don't have to take that crap from other people. You don't. Because maybe the reason why they're looking at your body or looking what's on your plate is because they're unable to look at their own bodies, they're unable to look at their plate, they're unable to look at what's going on around them. And that's their problem, not yours. So, and you know, if the weight is really bothering you, and it's because of medications you're taking, well, maybe it's time to talk to your doctor and see about getting, either getting a reduction of those medications or trying something else. And if it's just in your DNA, it's just how you are. Like, don't give up. Still, keep yourself healthy. You can still be overweight and healthy. Just like you can be thin or voluptuous or hard as a rock and have health problems. So basically, that's all I can say on this. Don't try to satisfy others when they just find you to be a source of amusement or denigration. All right, well, I'm out.